There I am. All right, little Billy Joel in the morning. Can't go wrong with that. I guess I'm dating myself, kind of like back to the 90s Knicks. But we now have the 2024 Knicks. What a hustling group, right? Banging the boards. Love to see it. You can get sometimes get a lot more with hustle than you do with, a little talent, right? What do they say? Anyway, with that being said, same thing goes with trading, right? You could be a talented trader, but if you don't put in the time, if you don't put in the process, and you don't prepare yourself, you're never going to be able to execute with confidence. So let's get moving this morning. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer. This is your 630 Club, where I try and figure out how you guys can make some cash flow with the red dog and also position yourself for intermediate and the long term, and work on the process while we do it. So let me see if some of my dogs are awake. It's Thursday. Maybe you were up late watching the game. I know I was. What do we got? We got Bill Myers in the house from South Texas. Jeffrey Cohen. How about those Knicks? I'll tell you, it's great to watch Brunson. My son is a basketball player, and he might be lucky enough to be 6'1". So it's good to see that he could have a 6'2" point guard doing what he's doing. You don't have to be 6'5". Just got to be tough as nails and hustle. Anyway, what up, Santo? What up, Thab? What up, Dallas? How's it going, Ali? What up, Eric? All right, everyone's like, Red Dog, what's happening here? Are we digesting and rolling over? Or are we digesting to then making an assault on the all-time highs that we put in, 6, 7 weeks ago? At this point, all I know is into Tuesday, I posted a lot about the oscillator being plus 60, that we should pause here. We were selling premium, trying to, be a little bit flexible, and now we are, here we are. So with that being said, let's take a quick look at the SPYs. What up, Bobby 4.0, my boy from Tampa, one of the best out there. So here's the SPYs, right? You take a look at it from the post-Fed Thursday morning red dog reversal hold'em. You had a 4-day move into a bit of a doji. Then what happened? Yesterday pre-market, it broke below the prior low and gave you 515. If you remember, I did post to Twitter. I'm like, hey, guys, I would rather be a seller into this 518-ish for a move to maybe 515, maybe 513-ish. And at this point, all we did is hit 515. So with that being said, this morning, futures are down a little bit, which I think is pretty impressive. Lately, some of the earnings plays have been really beat up. What do I mean? Well, yesterday you had what's it called? Shop get crushed. You had Uber get crushed. This morning, Airbnb is getting crushed. ARM. So with that being said, we're holding in pretty well. I was on Fox Business yesterday with Liz, and Liz is like, what's going to take the S&P back to an all-time high? Is it earnings? I'm like, it's not like, every few months is a different narrative that drives the market. What's probably going to be the next narrative is that we continue to get some weaker data, so it gives the Fed pretty much some room to do what they're going to start calling maintenance cuts. You're going to hear all the different language. You're going to start hearing this. I'm usually ahead of the game with the language that the talking heads like to speak. So if they're going to cut in September a quarter, it's not going to make a difference, but that'll keep rates in this 4.5% area. Market's not going to want 5% or more, and we don't have to go below 4%. Market has thresholds. So if we stay in this area and we get this Goldilocks-ish feel, there is a chance, I think, that this 524 gets taken out, but it's going to take some time. We're heading into the summer, and there's not going to be a whole lot of catalyst. Next week, you have the CPI and PPI. So you got to contain the fingers, meaning don't overtrade. All right. So with that being said, we'll see. Do we hold above 515 and go green? Do we develop some kind of high level, bull flag? What's a bull flag? You guys know what bull flag is. Every Saturday I post those cheat sheets. So, does this go out? Does this create a bull flag? Let the moving averages catch up, or do we break this and make the flag a little bit lower? But we'll see. So at this point, tactical longs and a little bit of shorts. Like I'm short some premium, I'm long some stocks. I'm trying to figure out if there's going to be, some more upside. What are some of the names? Someone's like Red Dog. Apple, not so bad. Okay, so if you look at Apple here, doesn't have much traction, which it doesn't. Okay, but overall, not the end of the world here, right? If you want it to be long Apple as an active swing, and you think the buybacks, if the sellers already happened, the buybacks are going to kick in, I think you could be long Apple versus 180.43. Let it go sideways, let it digest above this, and then at some point maybe it takes that out for a better trade. So that is calculated. I'm long a little Apple. My stop is here. Okay, and we'll see if it could actually wind up getting a little bit better. What's that going to be? It's going to have to get above this area. So, that's not so bad. I wouldn't say it's an A+ play, but it is Apple. To me, that's it's something to think about. I am still in Amazon. Yesterday, Amazon could have gotten really hit because you had Shopify getting down like 18%. And what did Amazon do? Amazon did actually a little red dog reversal. I was long Amazon, but I've been long it for a while. It went below 187.31, came back above. It's going sideways. I would think if once the market is done digesting this area and wants to continue, Amazon could be something that does work its way higher. It could. So I like it. That's a nice type of trade. Different type of trade that I think is over. We spoke about 5 days ago about how Meta and Netflix are programmed together and could probably fill those post-earnings gaps, and that happened. Now it's a little bit more difficult. What do I mean? Well, here's the gap post-earnings, and now it's filled. Look how symmetrical that is. So that trade's over. Now we have to figure out a new trade there. I am not in that. Netflix actually went even further. Netflix filled this gap here. Okay, triggered there. So that was your long. If you were looking to be long Netflix, it held this bottom end. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days up. I do think some guys probably started, some guys like play the gap fill long. And then as soon as the gap's filled, like I'm shorting it here. And it could go a little bit more. So they probably squeeze some shorts into that move. But now there's no setup. Sometimes it's a setup. Sometimes it's just to buy the dip and massage. There's no tradable setup here. This was a spot to buy. And then when it got into this gap, and now it's like, not much to do there. I do kind of think Microsoft is a little bit more interesting. If they were so concerned about, antitrust and this and that, why is, the Biden administration putting a few $1 billion into it? So at this point, if you change this pattern up a little bit, right? You're holding here. You have another area. And with that being said, it's been in this range now pretty much since February. So really, actually, since in January, Microsoft was in the exact same spot. Here we are in May. So that's February, March, April, May, for 4 months. And so that there is a chance that this, could get above here and continue back towards 430. I think if you wanted to be long Microsoft, maybe you could be long verse 406. What's Microsoft doing today? Microsoft is, down 12 cents. So I think that's a good setup because you could buy it verse here. It goes through there, has room to the highs, hasn't done anything. So I'm just trying to, come up with good, setups. Oh, Toast. What up, Time Direction? Toast was one of the names for my 2024 report. It now has a post-earnings move. Look at that. I listed it way down here. I'm not in it, but guys from my report are in it. Some guys buy all the names that I put on there. And if you did, you're making friggin' a lot of money. Anyway, Toast, really nice response. If you want to be long versus pro earnings gap type of thing, now it did clear this area. This area was consolidating literally since February. Also, there are some other names out there besides Mega Cap Tech. I agree, Time. So if you were in that one, congratulations. Now this can continue. Qualcomm, some guys like, what about Qualcomm? Well, little wishy-washy here, but Qualcomm also, showed that names could still, break above and hold pro earnings gap. So it's just choppy. It's a little choppy right now. I'm not in Qualcomm, but I guess if you are in it, yesterday was a pretty important day, how you have a low or higher low and let it go sideways. It's looking really good, guys, and I'm not a big advocate of it. Look at Lilly right here. Lilly, was a really great trade for my team right here to start the year, January 2nd, if you remember, it was a power play. And now Lilly literally has been going sideways for since February. Since February, Lilly's been consolidating a huge move. Granted, I would rather you get outside, run up a mountain, jog up a mountain, sweat in the sauna, go in a nice barrel, cut out some sugars and carbs and take a pill. But if you have to take a pill, I get it. But overall, this is a nice looking consolidation. Maybe if you think it's going to break above 800, what's the next earnings here? The earnings are, April 30th. Actually, no, they already happened? Anyway, yeah, they did happen. That was that, right? So anyway, I would think you go out 2 months, 3 months, and If you want to do a call spread, you could do a call spread because once it gets over 800, you'll probably be on your way towards 950. So maybe do like an 8 by 850. Not a bad looking setup outside tech. So just everyone's like, Red Dog, give me a different name outside tech. So here you go, Lily. Okay, but it does trade a little erratically. So to me, I would probably just do a call spread and forget about it. It's like you put on the swing. You could probably do like 800 by 850, and then you're probably spending 15 to make 35, which isn't bad. Or just wait for it to trigger above it, or be long versus 762, or be long versus here. So a lot of different ways to do it. You just have to define your risk. Anyway, what else? So ARM is getting beat up. ARM has not been technically great. I actually took a little call spread, which is going to lose. ARM right now is down 8. Okay, so if you look at ARM, not that ARM, this ARM, what's the recent low? 86. So it's not even there. So this would be a big level. So 86. Where is it now, ARM? What did I just say it was? 97 was the recent low. So with that being said, we'll see how it affects NVIDIA for today. See, you got to connect the dots. Anyway, this is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is right here. I would think today is important for NVIDIA. If NVIDIA could go from red to green, and if NVIDIA could not care really that ARM came out and is down so much and be in its own little world and build this flag here, I would think that would go a long way for the action going into the following week. So this low here is 890. So look at ARM is down 8% and NVIDIA is only down 5. So it's at 899. Yesterday, NVIDIA went from red to green. It was a great trade for cash flow. You don't always have to sit there and have it as on a swing. You just trade the ranges. But if it could hold it again and go sideways, and if it can't go down, with some of the news that's happened in Semiland, then chances are this big range that's been consolidating the move since 974 could wind up working higher. So with that being said, I will be looking at NVIDIA today for some kind of for opportunities in Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually had a great buy, and I was actually thinking about that thought that maybe I could buy it back because I did sell my IBIT into that move back to 64, 65. It's also in a range. It's and Bitcoin at this point, we'll see what it does. It might be worth a look. Here is the Bitcoin. It just the fact of the matter is though there's a big range here. This is it just came back up into descending trend line. So it keeps getting rejected. Here it was rejected into resistance, broke down. Then if you remember, it had the false breakdown. This is when we were buying the IBIT. I think I sold mine into that move. I didn't wait for that. And now it's trickling. So the question is, will it hot low? Will it put a higher low in here? And then finally, take this out at some point? We shall see. IBIT is what I play when I want to buy Bitcoin itself. If I want to position, I buy BITO calls. Overall, though, you have to be a little careful because, again, it's kind of no man's land. Right now, if you do things in no man's land, you can get in trouble. So here I bought into this move, and now what's this, 34.85? Where's IBIT? It's right around here. So does Bitcoin want to fill this gap? I don't know. There's a pretty big gap here. So this is 34.85. This is 34.80. If it were to put a low and maybe a buy versus out 36.50, so you're getting it a little bit down. But again, this could be a high, a lower high, a lower high, a lower high. You don't want a lower low. I'm just saying. So it's got to make a stand here if it's going to change this, type of complexion. But anyway, KRE looking about ready. I don't remember the last time I looked at regional banks. Yes, we had a great trade with Goldman Sachs, if you remember. Remember, we were here at the 630 club. I'm like, guys, if it breaks above 407, you're going to get a really nice move. Well, Goldman was awesome. No one really talks about this strength. They go, and look at that. I've written a lot of ebooks about the 8-day. We broke above it, and then every time it hit the 8-day, it's been a buy. We did talk about Morgan playing catch up, and now Morgan also, this was that one spot, and now it's above 94, making some progress. I have not been so active in the banks, but I always put it in my note for those who trade the banks. So you want me to look at KRE? What's KRE doing? I haven't really looked at this in a while, so I have to readjust. So if you go like this, here's that. You can make this go sideways here. It's been going sideways for a long time now. I don't know. I kind of think it's tough, but it does have, it does look like it can continue higher. It's above the moving averages. Nice channel here. It can go. For those of you in UNG, a lot of people like Red Dog. How did you come up with that play? It was funny. I was sitting there in Fox Business yesterday. I did my segment, and Liz had, I think, the CEO of some kind of natural gas company talking about how natural gas is going to be the next, power source for AI, and we were talking about that back here. I said accumulate the UNG for the summer move. Well, the move kind of started a little bit, and I would say you never want to buy strength in the UNG, but maybe you buy dips for a bigger move. But again, this is like a pre-move. It's only May. I have a feeling it's going to happen over the summer. But anyway, with that said, it's Thursday. You want me to look at crowd, CRWD. All right, crowd is one of the chosen ones. It had a little bit of a move. It's going sideways. Sometimes I get involved, but it's so choppy that the whole cyber software, like cyber, it's not clean. I like clean moving stocks. If you buy this, you have to really just buy versus an area and let it work out. You can't really actively trade it. This did give you a little bit of a move, I guess, and I don't know what happened here, but I would say you want to be long crowd versus 304. You're better off being long versus an area and not over trading it. So if you think crowd's going to work its way back towards this, this sellable bearish candle, buy versus 304, add above, 322, and then maybe you get some motion. But overall, this group to me, this looks good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the easiest active trader. Where is it right now? CRWD is down $1.75. So with that being said, maybe you want to buy versus a 5-15-minute low, or buy versus 304, let it flag here. And if the market does resume, I would think this is kind of in the game actively. CLH, didn't I report yesterday? This was a great trade back here. I remember the Alpha team was talking about this channel and had a really nice move, and then kind of broke momentum right there, lost the 8-day moving average. So it's trying to rebuild. Again, you have to have your go-to list, and you have to have stocks, and you have to watch them close, and you have to feel how they look if you're going to trade them actively. This is, when the market moves, this has been a great concept type play. Sell, these type of things. What's this? An energy drink? These things come and go. I'd rather trade the ones that I know will be here for more than that. But anyway, yeah, it looks okay. But nothing compelling. People like Red Dog, why'd you get away from Tesla? Well, Tesla to me gave us a lot of great opportunities. We had a great options play into numbers, and then you had that the autonomous driving China news, and now I don't know. I was in it for the earnings. I was in it into this really nice move. Actually, no, I wasn't in it overnight for that, unfortunately. But anyway, if you do remember 2 days ago, it showed a lot of relative weakness and gap down yesterday. It filled this gap, so now this gap is gone. Some people are like, well, Red Dog, you have a low, you have a higher low, another higher low. Now maybe it wants to continue. All right, I guess you could kind of say if you wanted to be long versus 170.15. It was a better buy than sell yesterday, but still, to me, it's like a battleground stock again. Their business is slow, and Elon's a little nutty. You have false narratives here and there. Right now, if you wanted to trade Tesla today, it's down $1.80. Sometimes it likes to go, green in a sea of red. So maybe it's worth a try. But it's still, this is, it's kind of choppy. It's not acting special. And if anything, if you want to be in a swing trade, you want to be in a swing trade that's acting special. So maybe today you could buy verse 170.15 for it to go green. But that's tactical. I would take that trade. And if you want to hold a little bit just in case, there you go. All right, have a great day. Have a great day, everyone. Listen, it's coming into summertime. Hopefully you have some good plans. It's May 9th. Some of you guys put a race on the schedule. That's cool. You put a race on the schedule that keeps you honest, it keeps you fit, has a goal. They say a goal is just a dream unless you write down the plan and execute, right? So it's good to have dreams, but they're not really goals, and they don't come to fruition unless you get moving on them. Okay, so write it down, make a promise to yourself, and the best promises are the ones you keep, are the ones to yourself. If you can't keep the promises to yourself, you're not going to keep them to anyone else, and you'll be good for nobody. So work on it. Later, Slater.